Today for us to start doing some standing and some fighting to back that
up. The way that our country is knit is very fragile based on the belief. Like, you got to have a shared common belief in order to have a community. Like, moving out here to Oakland, one of the first things that I saw was like the most important currency that I found in Oakland was loyalty. Like, if you were a person that was loyal to the person who was loyal to you, you're good. But if you in a situation where you were proven to be disloyal, then you could be in a situation where you in a dangerous place and don't even know it. You know what I'm saying? So if you ever get considered to be disloyal, like, that's the whole concept about this, you know, snitches and people, you know, doing stuff against other people, you know, and when people have to rub up against each other and they willing to do dirt, they become shiesty. If you around somebody that becomes shiesty, next thing you know, you after him. And y'all family, like, one of the things that I really hate about things that happen in inner cities is it be one person family that's dealing with another person family, and the generation before that, those two families could have been friends. You know what I'm saying? And then, like, now you get violence between two people, and they be like, oh, that's your uncle or that's your cousin. You know what I'm saying? And those type of things really hurt, because then you get into the concept of betrayal. You get in so many other things, and it's hard to unravel that stuff because people take that kind of stuff personally. Like, if somebody harms somebody in your family, it's hard to relieve that because that's somebody you love and that's somebody that you're never going to be able to kind of, you know, forget. And so, you know, sometimes it's not easy to relinquish those things. So we got to start learning. If we're going to start learning how to, you know, forgive, like what Jason said with the Gucci, you know, 10 years later, he got to a point where he lived a better life. If that's what we strive for, we're going to have to decide at some point, are we going to look at the past for what it was, or are we going to look at what we got in our current for what it is? And, you know what I'm saying, having a better future is what we all looking for. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, you know, as I get into the soapbox topic, you know, I wanted to kind of bring it towards that same energy, really towards like the whole community of the country. Because the country took a blow in this whole fiasco that's still kind of going on, but it's fizzling out with current president not winning the election, feeling like he didn't win because of fraud or some type of misbehavior in certain places, and trying to find a way to undermine the concept that he lost on a democratic election. And I know a lot of people who don't even vote. I know a lot of people who do vote. And so when I look at this country, the way that it's made up, it's very difficult for me to imagine what's going to happen in the future if you got a person who can come out and say, even though we did the election process, oh, that election was fake. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's going to happen in the future when you got people who out here saying, I actually voted, I contributed my vote, I did all that I could do. You know what I'm saying? And so my question that I want to pose to the group is, do you think that democracy has taken a blow as a result of this, you know, rumor of fraud that's been taking place? Is the country going to feel this?
I think history's repeating itself. We already did this fake election stuff with the Bush in Florida years ago. Like, we already did this. So you know, as far as democracy taking the blow, I think they're all illusion. Republicans an illusion, democracy's an illusion. I think, but I mean, you're asking about as far as people taking it and how they'll receive it, as far as a hit on democracy. I think people know the system's flawed already. I think it's more of an expectancy, like, you know, like, here we go again type of thing. And this is cool to actually talk about this type of stuff, because I don't watch any of it. So a lot of the stuff you guys will be informing me of stuff. Like, I don't know. Like, as a matter of fact, I found out, I have a friend that's a Trump supporter, and he was basically like, you know, saying all these things to defend him. And I said, I don't have an approach on either. I don't believe any of them. So it's all words upon deaf. You talking upon deaf ears. I don't believe any of them. I haven't met a politician, you know, like show me a conscious politician. Then we going somewhere. Like that'll be the first step. Show me anything else, I'm not interested. I don't want to see the best businessman. I don't want to see the best war general. You know, a conscious leader, and then I'll be interested in what they say next.
First of all, if the politician ain't talking about reparations, I don't even want to hear what they talking about. You know what I'm saying? Straight up with that. But like Donald Trump, you know what I'm saying? He's laughable. Like, this guy is a clown. You know what I mean? Like, when you see this guy, he did a Facebook Live Uh, he did some Facebook Live where he just ranted on about him being the president elect and Joe Biden not being elected president. This guy's in his own world. Like, I mean, at some point while he was like running, we should have saw this. You know what I'm saying? But I think that it was interesting to see how he unravels. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to see where he's going to be in the next year. You know what I'm saying? Where he doesn't have a job. You know what I'm saying? Where his money is depleted. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure his wife's gonna, like he's going through it. You know what I'm saying?
He's not going anywhere, man. Like this is. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
This is the thing. He was there before he was president, and it's easy for us to forget the place that he existed in for many, many years before he became president, because the last 4 years probably had felt like for a lot of us a lot longer than 4 years. Like it's almost I think his legacy as president, if you want to like attach something to him as far as like what he defined and the way he made us rethink being president, was because even when Obama came in, like that was a paradigm shift. First black president, first president in a long time since Kennedy to be elected so young. And, now we're 12 years past that, and you have Trump. And yeah, Jason raised a great point. This is nothing new in terms of people having distrust in the system based on the outcome, the results of an election. I saw somebody pointed out, he's the first president in history to lose the popular vote 2 times, because it's been very few times in history where someone won the presidency and they didn't win the popular vote, and Trump is one of those outcomes. The last time before that happened was in 2000 when Bush beat Gore. That's something that doesn't happen often.
There's never been a president who did not concede. You know what I'm saying? The presidency after the other person won, after the other candidate won.
It's almost like the exact opposite. So, people on the left, on the liberal side in 2000 were very disillusioned. That was the first election that I was eligible to vote in. We were all about the same age, like 2000, I turned 18. So, there's a lot of people our age that grew up not voting, or maybe this year they voted for the first time because of the outcome of that election. And realizing that, oh yeah, just because more people voted for this person doesn't mean they win the whole electoral college system. So, it's just ironic that in 2020, 20 years after that, it went the other way. Now you have people on the right that are like, oh yeah, this is a fraud. This system is rigged. That's what everybody on the other side was saying 20 years ago.
That's what's got me laughing, because I look at it like we're in a situation where we really shouldn't be using anything that divides us. Like, that's my politic in general. So it's kind of funny that you got people who are like sore losers. Like, I wish that you could do this in sports. Like, like imagine like this would be the equivalent of being like a year into the next season or something, and you're still talking about the game that you like, when the New Orleans Saints lost that game that they were in the playoffs or something, and they tripping about it because of the referee call. It's like, you're gonna have to get over it. History is already done. The story is told. The more time you spending on like what you think in your reality, that's almost schizophrenia in a way, because like you want a reality to exist that doesn't exist, and you're trying to force that reality on other people, and that's not.
But he's also bringing other people along with him. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like, there's still people who have Trump and Pence signs on their yard. You know what I'm saying? Like, he has not conceded yet.
They're mad. They're gonna be mad. But you know what the funniest thing? Like, I've heard it become cool to say like, oh yeah, I didn't vote, or I just laugh. With these people, arguing about this. Like, I laugh at people that get emotional about politics or whatever. It's just all entertaining to me. The most entertaining thing to me is like in Georgia. We all lived in Georgia at one point. We all are familiar with like the politics there. And just, today they announced that for the third time they recounted the votes and Biden still won. Georgia 20 years ago, my first year living in Georgia, that was when the governor, Sonny Perdue, came in. You know what I mean? He won governor based on the idea that he was going to change the state flag back to have the Confederate flag in it. They had just got rid of the Confederate flag and the Georgia state flag, and he was going to change it back. So Trump being, obvious white supremacist, the fact it's got to make him sick that Georgia, went blue, that one of the states that he thought he had in his back pocket would be the reason that he didn't win presidency. You know what I mean? That just had me chuckling on the inside because I know, Georgia, outside of Atlanta, Georgia is very red, very red. You know what I mean? Like, is Republican as fuck.
So, I think what Shaka said about, like, we know he, bottom line is that, like you said, they should have got him out of there earlier. But that's what lets me know it's all rigged. That's what makes me laugh at the system. If most people are wise enough to know he's not equipped to. I don't watch the news. I don't watch the elections. But every time I hear him speak, I think I'm listening to a child. Like the way it's like an emotional kid. And I'm not judging him. I don't know nothing about him. I don't know his policies or nothing. I just see a kid as a president, and I change the channel. Like, come on, this is entertainment. And whoever's in control of this is using him.
Just his politics, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they use, I can see that they're using him for this reason, to distract us, to keep us talking about him, to keep us separated.
It's a figurehead.
I also want to say, to push racism. I believe that putting Obama in first, a reputable brother, and then bringing an ignorant white man after him created race. Like they say, it just exposed it. I think they recreated it because I seen people getting more comfortable with black and white. And I know what I seen in life coming up to this point with living in the South and living in the North. I seen people really starting to get over that. And they brought it all back within the last 8 years.
Just let us know that, like, we're not that far removed from, and I talk about this a lot because, like, my parents are older. They grew up in the Jim Crow South. You know what I mean? My grandmother was born over 100 years ago. You know what I mean? So, like, people forget that we're not that far removed from slavery or Jim Crow or the civil rights movement. It's not that long in the past. So, yeah, I think that, to your point, the way that we got Trump as president in the first place was people in society responding to an Obama two-term presidency, being the first black president. We don't get Trump without Obama, and that's also a part of Trump's legacy. Is he exposed the fact that it's just a figurehead. The president is just a figurehead.
You need Obama for Trump too. See, like, the thing is that the whole system is rigged, right? Like, elections are selected, not elected. You know what I'm saying? So, like, in my opinion, I think that the whole thing is rigged. The red and the blue work together, and it's decided who is good for the country. Let us not forget who the Democrats used to be. It's so interesting, like, I understand that, Democrats work more in our interests. You know what I'm saying? At the same time, let's not forget the history of the Democrats. You know what I'm saying? A lot of slave owners. A lot of these folks used to promote slavery. All right. So, like, as we get into names, let's not forget names are powerful. If we take on these names and say we're this, that, and the third, no. We use politics in order to get what we need. You know what I'm saying? And not only that, like, we sometimes have to look at, we got to stay outside of politics too.